an honor. It's an honor to be here. I just came here from the house where Richard Nixon grew up, and I'm still a little awestruck by the good fortune I had to play the piano that Richard Nixon played. He continues to reveal a lot of commonality that I aspire to in a man who deserves to be remembered for what he actually did to our foreign policy, which will become the main subject of my speech this evening. Before I get into that, I wanted to share a little bit of background with you. I see some familiar faces, but mostly new, on a little bit about my background and why I'm in this race for U.S. president. And that'll bring me to the doorstep of actually how we commemorate Nixon's legacy. My parents came to this country 40 years ago with no money. In a single generation, I have gone on to found multi-billion-dollar companies and did it while marrying my wife, Apurva, and raising our two sons. That is the American dream. And I am deeply worried that that American dream will not exist for my two sons and their generation. I believe today we're in the middle of a national identity crisis. Faith, patriotism, hard work, family. These things have disappeared, only to be replaced by new secular religions in American life. Wokeism, transgenderism, climatism, COVIDism, globalism, depression, anxiety, fentanyl, suicide. These are symptoms of a deeper void of purpose and meaning in our country. And I speak to you today as a member of my generation. I'm 38 years old. I'm the youngest person ever to run for U.S. president as a Republican. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. And I'm rooting for victory. Thank you. And I'll tell you what's going on in our generation, right? Millennial, what's going on with the millennials? We are hungry for a cause. We are starved for purpose and meaning and identity. At a time in our national history when the things that used to fill our void, faith, patriotism, belief in God, nation, the things we talked about, when those have disappeared, that leaves a moral vacuum in its wake. And I think that presents our opportunity. I'm not speaking to conservatives, I'm speaking to Americans. That is our opportunity to step up and to fill that void with a vision of what it means to be an American today. You ask people my age that question, what does it mean to be an American? Try it. You get a blank stare in response, like a deer in the headlights reaction. That is the vacuum. That is the void. And for a long time, especially in the conservative movement, we have been running from something. Now is our moment to actually start running to something. To our vision of what it means to be a citizen of this nation. What does it mean to be American? To me, it means we believe in the ideals that set this nation into motion 250 years ago. Ideals like meritocracy and the pursuit of excellence. The idea that you get ahead in this country, not on the color of your skin, but on the content of your character and your contributions. That is why I've said I will end affirmative action in America. It's been a cancer on our national soul, and we are done with it. What does it mean to be American? It means we believe in the rule of law. I say this as the kid of legal immigrants to this country. We should be open to immigrants like them. But your first act of entering this country cannot break the law That is why we will use our own military not to secure somebody else's border somewhere else, but to secure our own southern border in this country, in the United States of America. What does it mean to be an American? It means we believe in this radical dream that our founding fathers had 250 years ago. It means we believe in a radical dream that Richard Nixon had half a century ago. A radical dream that I have as a citizen today. That the people who we elect to run the government ought to be the ones who actually run the government. Not the deep state managerial bureaucracy that actually runs the show today. That is why I've said that, you know what, if I can't be your president for more than 8 years and collect a paycheck from you all, the hardworking taxpayers, for that long, which I think is a good thing, then neither should any of those federal bureaucrats reporting into me either. 8-year term limits for the bureaucracy over civil service protections. That is what it means to revive accountability in government. If there are government agencies that should not exist, or which have become so corrupt that they have abandoned their original purpose, from the FBI to the IRS to the ATF to the CDC to the Nuclear Regulatory Commission to the U.S. Department of Education, we will not just reform them, we will get in there and shut it down. That is how we revive the integrity of a constitutional republic. These are not Democrat ideas or Republican ideas. These are not black ideas or white ideas. These are fundamentally American ideals that we fought a revolution for in 1776, where we said we the people create a government that is accountable to us, not the other way around. That we the people settle our differences through free speech and open debate in the public square where every citizen's voice and vote counts equally. Not in the back of palace halls in old world England. Not in the back of palace halls in the back of a 3-letter government agency building in Washington, D.C., or BlackRock's corner office on Park Avenue in Manhattan. We the people settle these differences in a republic. The thing that motivates me is that, you know what, November 2024, that is not a destination. That is the starting line. The destination for us in our next leap will be January 2033, when I leave office. And we drop the mic. I'll tell my 2 sons, my older son, he won't even be in high school yet. I want to tell them what we actually did. I want to tell you all, what did we actually do? It's not a lot a U.S. president can do, but there's a few things that we can do, actually, without asking anybody for permission. I will tell you that we no longer have 4 branches of government. We're back down to 3. Okay, that we laid off properly 75% of the federal employee headcount in Washington, D.C. 75% can go home and find honest work. I will tell you that we are no longer dependent on our enemy, Communist China, for our modern way of life. We are independent in the United States of America. I will tell you that our economy is once again growing at the fastest rate in the developed world because we embrace capitalism instead of apologizing for our growth. And most importantly, I will tell you that my 2 sons and their generation, that they are once again proud to be citizens of this nation. I believe that is possible. I believe we together can create a country that they can be proud of again. For a long time, we have been taught, I've been taught, grew up into it for the last 20 years, to celebrate our diversity and our differences. So much that we forgot all of the ways that we are really just the same as Americans, bound by a common creed that set this nation into motion 250 years ago.
I believe deep in my bones those ideals still exist, and I believe that we together can revive them. E pluribus unum. From many, one. That is the dream that won the American Revolution. That is the dream that reunited us after the Civil War. That is the dream that won us 2 world wars and the Cold War. That is the dream that still gives hope to the free world. And if we can revive that dream over group identity and victimhood and grievance, then nobody in the world, not a nation, not a corporation, not a virus is going to defeat us. That is what American exceptionalism is all about. And that is what we will revive to save this great nation. And the way we do it, thank you. The way we will do it is by remembering the great men and women that led us 250 years in to get here. One of those great men was none other than the man who we commemorate in this library today, Richard Nixon. He's misunderstood. I think he is by far, by and away, the most underappreciated president of our modern history in this country, probably in all of American history. He was somebody who had a deep skepticism for the